My grandfather owned a pro shop when I was a young boy, so I had a bowling ball before I was able to walk, and my grandma would pick me up from school and she'd take me to the bowling alley, to the pro shop, and I'd sit there. And once I got old enough, if I sat there long enough and asked about a bowling ball, I would leave with it that night. So I pretty much have been bowling my entire life. I bowled regionals for a couple years, but I never thought that I was good enough to be on tour for a long time until 4 years ago whenever I joined the tour. I wasn't ready to make that next step because I didn't think that I was ready for it. When you find yourself starting to be banned from some events and or the people that you compete with in your own state, like Anderson and Smallwood and Ronnie Sparks and all the greats from Michigan and Ohio, you start competing with them and you travel with them and you travel to your surrounding states, and you always seem that your group is always the one that's competing for the win, and then you see them go out on tour and see them compete with the top players in the world. You think like, all right, like if I can compete with them at home, maybe I can go out and compete with them across the country.
Waco. That looked a lot better for him.
Someone to be watching with her skill set and to really only be paying attention to you. She's seen these other players bowl her entire life as well. So she knows bowling, she's been around it, she wins tours for a living. The wedding day was a blast. Our entire life is based around bowling. So, it's just nice to be able to, share that with somebody, but, just get to live a life together.
His first televised strike. Spared strike for Snodgrass to start.
Typically, I like the U.S. Open because the scores are lower, and I feel like that's where I find this, more comfortability is knowing that I don't have to necessarily chase a lot of strikes. I don't really like whenever I have to know that you need to average 230 or 240 a game, and it just brings a whole new mentality of, I feel like I find some extra patience I might not have typically because I know that everyone's going through the same thing I'm going through. I can get easily distracted sometimes with what's going around me, or being in a negative situation, kind of like yesterday of a 1 in 16, 1 in 17 cut ratio is easy to start dwelling on that whenever you start to have some bad games. So I really just focus on making every shot count and not really watching people around me or the score. I got up in the 10th and I just knew that I had a chance because as less people were bowling and more people were finishing, more people were, collecting around my pair. All the reps were down there. I could just feel the moment increasing. So I just got up there and I just made a pass that I trusted, and I gave it the best chance to strike, and they all went down.
That's it.
When it's all said and done, typically the guy that bowled the best won the tournament. There's no freebies here. There's no, this guy matched up better than this guy. We're all bowling on the same floor. They're typically going to be flat and they're typically going to be hard. Everyone is going to struggle at some point, but it's just about throwing the best shots to get yourself in a position where whatever you leave is more so makeable. So, this is the one to win. The green jacket is everything.